everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we went live. Last time we were here, we were with Mr. Global talking, and today we're back in the saddle for the live streams, and I hope everyone is doing good. There is so much going on in this world. It's just a matter of where do we want to start. And so I've been sitting here reading the comments and seeing what people were saying as we get deep in the weeds now. And right before I went live, I heard some kind of disheartening news that it looks like Republicans have the votes now in the Senate. Is the last thing I heard. Literally like an hour earlier, we were hearing that they didn't have them. So I guess it's just a wait and see. Who knows? They may come to that decision while we're sitting here talking about it. But what I want to talk about is this bill and how much it's going to hurt people and how much that it's going to cause Donald Trump to break his promises. He's promised that Medicaid wouldn't be touched, that it wouldn't be hurt. There's so many things in this that he's promised that as time goes on, we're going to realize he broke those promises. And so we're going to be playing some clips from people that have been talking about the bill and the effects that it's going to have. And it's not just Democrats that are saying this. A lot of Republicans are saying the same thing. And it's just a matter of time now until we see whether or not this thing makes it through the Senate. Then it'll have to circle back to the House and then land on Donald Trump's desk. And things are getting crazy, folks. It truly is, because you've also got the Elon Musk fiasco that is going on that we'll be talking more about later on. So hope everyone's doing good this morning. In the words of Texas Paul, not trying to steal his shtick here, but I hope your coffee's as good as mine. I'm still trying to get woke up this morning. I don't know. I've not been sleeping the best, and so I finally did sleep some for the first time in a while. And the thing is, I don't know about you all, but like if I sleep like a long period of time, I wake up feeling worse and I have a harder time getting rolling. Usually I get, about 3 to 4 hours sleep is about it, maybe 5 if I'm lucky. And, I wake up and I go about my day, and I guess I just got myself into a rhythm of that. And now if I sleep, say 6 or 7 or 8 hours, that's like, I wake up feeling like crap the next day, and it takes a couple of cups of coffee, JFG Knoxville style, to get me going. So here we are, and thank y'all so much for being with me. And I'm just a straight black coffee kind of dude. I don't understand the people that puts the creamers. I don't understand the people that puts all the spice. It makes no sense. Why ruin good JFG? But anyway, I'm going to play you a couple of clips now because I don't post very often at all. As a matter of fact, I haven't posted on the dumpster fire that is X since the election. But I did recently when I put out the No Kings tune. I went ahead and threw it up over there. I kind of go back and forth as to whether or not I want to post there. I truly don't want to give Elon anything, and I sure as hell ain't going to pay him for that check mark. That's some real bullshit. But I do feel like that I need to keep an eye on that dumpster fire because that's where all the stuff is happening. That's where MAGA's, growing and building their thing. So I do feel like we need to take a look at it. And, of course, I follow Midas Touch in different places over there. But I'm going to take you over here. If I can pull this up for you, I'm going to take you over here because this dude here really did make some waves this week. Tom Tillis, senator out of North Carolina. He really made some waves with what he had to say about the bill. I'm going to play one part of his thing, and then I want to play something that Chris Van Hollen said, because I think it's something too that people needs to pay attention to. But right here, as soon as I get this one pulled up for you, I'll get that pulled up real quick here. 1 second. So I'll pull this one up and we'll watch this one. And then I want you to see what Chris Van Hollen was saying, because there is a lot of things that are hidden in this bill. And a lot of people don't realize just how disastrous the whole thing is going to be. And so let me get this one up here for you, and we will watch this one together.
I may look for an opportunity to speak again, but I'm telling the president that you have been misinformed. You supporting the Senate mark will hurt people who are eligible and qualified for Medicaid. I love the work requirement. I love the other reforms in this bill. They are necessary, and I appreciate the leadership of the House for putting it in there. In fact, I like the work of the House so much that I wouldn't be having to do this speech if we simply started with the House mark. I've talked with my colleagues in North Carolina. I know that we can do that. And I believe that we can make sure that we do not break the promise of Donald J. Trump that he's made to the people who are on Medicaid today, Mr. President. But what we're doing, because we've got a view on an artificial deadline on July 4th that means nothing but another date and time, we could take the time to get this right if we lay down the House mark of the Medicaid bill and fix it.
Now, there's one,
Mr. President,
there's one guy, let me get this paused. There's one guy that understands that Donald Trump is about to break promises. And a lot of people in MAGA don't understand that because these people are just sitting back flexing at anything the dude does. You know what I mean? They're out there, they're going to flex at anything he does, and they're not going to realize the long-term effects this thing is going to have. It's going to have a lot of effects on people like us. It's also going to have a lot of effects on his billionaire buddies because their lives is going to be made even easier. And folks, at the end of the day, I just really want to drive this point home, okay? And I'm just going to be very blunt here. We're live and it's unfiltered, okay? The Republican Party does not give a fuck about you, okay? They do not give a fuck about working people. They don't care about people here in Appalachia. To everyone that bought that ridiculous myth and lie, you're about to learn the hard way. Your family's going to learn the hard way. You're finally going to see that what this dude was all about was grifting. What he was all about was making him and his family and his billionaire buddies richer. And really, at the end of the day, I don't think that he's misinformed. I think he knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to, there's things in there hidden in the bill too that would let him do any damn thing he wants to because no one would be able to challenge him. It's all about control. It's all about making himself richer, and he does not care about us. Now, one thing that when you hear it said out loud, everybody agrees on it. We all think, you know, hey, no tax on tips. Sounds great, don't it? There's a lot of things that Donald Trump will say that sounds good in the moment, but when you dig into this bill and start reading it and paying attention to it, you understand how many things are hidden away in there that is going to be a broken promise. So I'm going to bring up this clip from Chris Van Hollen. Chris Van Hollen was the one that went down and visited Abrego Garcia, if you forgot who he was. He's the one that went down there and visited him and kept us updated on him. I'm going to try to find this clip back that I found of him because it truly does. He exposes something in this bill that a lot of people don't understand is there. 'Cause like I said, the no tax on overtime thing sounds good. A lot of people are for it. But let's bring this back up here and let's listen to what Van Hollen had to say about it.
I support the no tax on tips provision, but people need to understand something about that. That provision in this Republican bill phases out after 3 years. It goes away, poof, gone. So the tax cuts for very rich people, they go on forever in this bill. In fact, they broke the rules. Normally they could only have them go on for 10 years. They violated the whole reconciliation process in order to make sure that the tax cuts for rich people go on forever, but they sunset, they terminate the tax cuts for people who are on the tips issue and on the other issues the president talked about.
So there you go. It's one of those things where in three years it would expire anyway. But I just got the news as we're talking that it did pass through the Senate. So I just received that news while that clip was playing, and yeah, we'll go ahead and bring this comment up on the screen. We're so screwed. That's exactly what is going on. But when people were asking me, they were saying, "Do you think it's really going to pass? Do you think it'll make it?" And yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I do. Donald Trump pretty much has the entire thing in his back pocket, and they're not going to go against him at the end of the day. Some people, wonders, well, will they go against? Will more people listen to Elon's money, or will they listen to Trump? They're going to listen to Trump because Trump's already kind of floating around the idea of deporting Elon himself. And so, yeah, I mean, in some ways it is unfucking believable. And in other ways, I mean, are we really shocked when it comes to Donald Trump and what he's all about? But we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep moving forward. It is truly devastating, and we're going to, we're going to sit back, folks, and we're going to watch as people learn the hard way. And I really got to be honest with y'all. I didn't want to be in this stage of fuck around and find out. I have a lot of people from time to time will say, "Oh, Brando, you just like making videos, and as long as Trump's around, you'll have plenty to talk about. You'll have plenty of videos to make." Listen, folks, I would much rather be sitting here in this chair today defending Kamala Harris defending Tim Walz, defending what they were accomplishing for this country. I would rather be going to bat for them every day than to be sitting here talking about all the people that's going to lose their health care, all the people that's going to lose their benefits, all the people that's going to lose their jobs, all the debts that we're going to pay and our grandchildren are going to pay for years to come. So, here we are. But I want to bring this up for you here because one of my favorites is out of Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear, he's one of my absolute favorites out there. He's someone that I really do hope we see come more to the front. And right here, I want to bring these things up because I want people to understand. See, I grew up in Kentucky, folks. I'm right here on the state line of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. I was born over here in Tennessee, grew up over Kentucky, moved back over here. I got family on both sides of the line. It all feels like home to me. But I grew up in Kentucky, so I have a lot of close ties there and a lot of good friends there. And I want to play you this clip of Andy, and then I'm going to talk about something that we got coming up on Saturday that I'm very excited about, so don't tune out just yet. I've got some more stuff to talk to you about. But let's go ahead and bring up Governor Beshear. As always, on point, as always, bringing the truth. And people in my part of the world really needs to start listening to this dude, because if he can win in a blood red state, this has always been my argument. If Andy can win in blood red state like Kentucky, he's someone that the Democratic establishment needs to definitely listen to more.
Let me ask you, I mean, this bill, it's the Senate, it's in the vote-a-rama, very nerdy term, but I started off the show just talking about how this bill has a terrible impact, dramatically bad impact on many of the people who voted for Trump to begin with, many of whom voted for you too, given how much Trump won your state by. What would be your advice, we don't have that much time left, unfortunately, but to Democrats out there about if this bill passes, how should they be talking about it and helping connect with people about the impacts of it?
They should be looking squarely at voters and saying, we are opposing this because we care about you. We know the next doctor's appointment for your parents and your kids is critical to you. And the person that you elected and the president that you elected doesn't care about you. They're willing for you to be fired. They're willing for you to lose your health care coverage. And they're willing to make your drive just to see your doctor hours longer. Why? Because they don't care about your everyday life. They said they would, but what you've seen is lies and is betrayal. So now is the time for the Democratic Party to make sure every single day we're talking about your job, your next doctor's appointment, the roads and bridges you drive, the school you drop your kids off at, and whether you feel safe in your community. We are going to be the party of your everyday life, and we're going to work every day to make it better.
And I really believe that's the type of messaging that more and more Democrats needs to adopt. Folks, a lot of people says, how could the Democrats win over the working class? How can they bring the working class back? I truly do believe that it's simply talking about the issues at hand. And like Andy just said right there, talk about their job, talk about their health care, talk about, the school they drop their kid off at, the roads and bridges they drive on. You got to bring it right down to them. Let me bring this other clip up here. Because Andy was really on point with this one. Let's see if I can find it back. I don't want to play the same one twice, which hell, it wouldn't be bad to hear it said twice. Let's see, make sure I'm not playing the same one.
Who votes for this is doing? They are firing healthcare workers.
Okay, I think this is the different one. Bear with me. I'm still not the quickest on the draw at this stuff.
Well, first, you are entirely right that this would be absolutely devastating to Kentucky, but it's going to be devastating to all of rural America. You mentioned that it is basically going to fire, because that's what Donald Trump and everybody who votes for this is doing. They are firing healthcare workers across the country, 20,000 in my state. 200,000 people in Kentucky and millions more aren't going to be able to get the treatments they need. They might not survive. And those 35 rural hospitals that are at risk of closing, Jen, each and every one of them is the second largest employer in the community that they're in. So just imagine you're a small business in that community and the second largest employer goes under. All the jobs evaporate. What happens? Your entire community's economy takes a major hit, and all of a sudden you as a small business may be laying some people off as well. But then take the families and how they're going to be impacted. Whether you're on Medicaid or on private insurance, if your rural hospital closes, you got to drive a couple hours just to see the doctor you used to see in your own community. If your parents get kicked off of their coverage and they're in long-term care costs, you got to bring them into your home and try to figure out how to keep them alive. Half of Kentucky's kids are covered under Medicaid. They lose their coverage, and you are scrambling over that next prescription. This is going to impact the life of every single American negatively. It is going to hammer our economy, and it is wrong, and it is mean, and I cannot believe that people refuse to do their job and represent their people that they were sent to Washington to represent, and instead are just pledging fealty towards someone pushing such a damaging piece of legislation.
And I'm really glad that I was able to get that one played on here, because so many people from where I grew up and so many people in the surrounding area just don't understand what's coming. Andy is not saying those things to be hyperbolic. He's not saying those things to score political points. He's saying those things because he genuinely cares. And the people of Kentucky, I think, deep down knows that. That's why they voted for him twice. During the Trump years, during COVID, he was still able to get himself reelected because he speaks to people and he talks about the issues and the problems at hand. But while we got a good 1,200 people in here, I want to go ahead and bring this up and talk about it. I'm going to be doing a special live stream this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to be talking with the people from the group Kentucky Resist. They're going to be holding a protest in London, Kentucky, this Saturday, July 5th. It will be from 4 to 7 p.m. At the Laurel County Courthouse. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be there just yet, because I'm going to be getting a tattoo earlier in the day, and I'm going to be getting tattooed up in Harlan. So if I make it out of Harlan alive, inside joke, if I make it out of there and can make it up to London, I will be there to support them. But I'm going to have them on the show one way or the other. I'll have them on the show this Thursday, special show, 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on the channel. Not same time, different time, 7 p.m., but the same channel. Tune back in, and I'll be talking to the folks from Kentucky Resist, because, they've been hosting protests. I saw one commenter from Australia say, why is it people protesting every day, and why aren't people protesting outside of Congress right now? That's a great question. Well, there are a lot of groups that are raising up and protesting more often. They just don't necessarily get the media coverage, and especially in Kentucky, where it is a blood red state. I know they went, and I didn't know this, or I would have been there to support them. They were in my hometown of Middlesboro, Kentucky, and I didn't realize that till I was halfway to Knoxville, and then somebody told me they were. And then they had one in Manchester, Kentucky, which is Clay County. I think it's the fourth reddest state in Kentucky. Leslie County's number 1. I don't remember number 2 and 3, but I'm pretty sure Clay's number 4. It is a blood red part of the world. But there's a lot of good people there, and there's a lot of good people who are sick and tired of all this shit. And so what I would say, and I will say this again on the live stream with Kentucky Resist at 7 p.m. Eastern this Thursday, but what I'll go ahead and say to you now is this. I understand that a lot of times you have a protest in a place like Clay County, Kentucky, Manchester, Kentucky. I understand you go there and there's not that big of a crowd, not the kind of crowds you would have in a Knoxville, or not the kind of crowds you would have in bigger cities. And so I understand you go there and you're standing there, you're trying to stand on the right side of history, you're trying to stand there and do the right thing and speak up and speak out. And then you got a bunch of assholes driving by in trucks honking horns. You got a bunch of counter protesters, and just the general feeling that people are making fun of you because there's so few of you. Here's the point that I would like to drive home to the people that are protesting on the right side of history, and to all the people who are laughing at them now. You may feel, to the people that's protesting right now in little towns like Manchester, Kentucky, and places like London, Kentucky, and places like Middlesboro, Kentucky, to those of you protesting there, you may feel outnumbered today. You may feel outnumbered right now. But once this bill really gets rolling and the effects of it starts unraveling, you're not going to be alone for long. Because to the people who are laughing and mocking and making fun of the ones protesting, you're about to learn the hard way. And you're about to learn that they weren't just trying to scream at you for political points. They were trying to scream at you to get you to wake up and stop buying this dude's cologne, and stop buying his Bibles, and stop buying his sneakers, and stop saying how he don't need the money and sending him more money. Quit the bullshit, knock it off, wake up. So you may feel outnumbered right now, but you're not going to be in a few years. You're not going to be in a few years when they lose their health care, when their parents lose their health care, they have to move their parents in with them and sit there and go broke. And that's not me being hyperbolic. It's not because I hate Donald Trump. And yes, I do. I absolutely loathe the ground that holds the motherfucker up, okay? It hate's a deep word, but I truly do. But that's not why I'm sitting here saying those things. I'm sitting there saying these things, and people are hitting the streets protesting because we genuinely care about the people we grew up with. We genuinely care about these small towns like Middlesbrough and Manchester, and we just want to see people do better. We want to see people be able to achieve the American dream, which is something that the Republican Party under Donald Trump stopped talking about a long damn time ago. They stopped talking about the American dream, and now everything is just bad. Everything, the country's a shithole, and people shouldn't come here, and they want to force everyone out. There was a time when I was growing up when Republican presidents like Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, who I didn't like any of them, wouldn't vote for any of them. If I could roll back the hands of time, I would not vote for any of those men. But Ronald Reagan did say what makes this country great is the fact that people aspire to come from all over the world and be here and live out the American dream. And George H.W. Bush talked about the importance of immigrants and how they strengthened our economy and how he was, he lived in Texas and he knew what it was like down in Texas. George W. Bush even talked about it, how we need to just find ways to help them get here legally and strengthen our economy and celebrate the diversity. And then along came Donald Trump. After I grew up under a president that said, "Mr. President, tear down that wall," I grew up to watch a man talk about building walls and watched people cheer for it. Watched people get behind it and applaud and put on the ridiculous merch and buy the shitty merchandise and wave flags off their trucks. And it's so over the top ridiculous. It's so over the top ridiculous. I understand you like reality shows. Hey, if you like reality shows, watch one. If you like WWE, watch it. Me and my sons and my family watched it 2 days in a row. We watched them over in Saudi Arabia. We watched them on Monday Night Raw. You can watch them right there. They do that kind of entertainment really well. You can watch it right there. You don't have to bring it into your politics. You don't have to we don't need Paul Heyman as the president of the United States. I mean, I love his character, but you don't want a guy like that running the show. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so we're not sitting here because, he hates Trump. He has Trump derangement syndrome. I will not be lectured by anyone who tells me that I have Trump derangement syndrome while they're standing there dressed out like a damn billboard with his face on their crotch and squirting his cologne on themselves. I'm not going to be lectured by any of those people. And I saw someone at the top of the show say, would you ever bring somebody on the channel to debate them? I absolutely would, but I will not lower myself to that level to sit across from a moron decked out in his gear. Trump, baby, Trump's my daddy. I'm not going to sit and talk to that. I'm not going to entertain it. I'm not going to argue with an idiot, because they will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. And the people that are sitting back on the other side watching, if you argue with an idiot for that long a time, people can't tell which one the real idiot is. So I would be glad to debate somebody with differing opinions all day long. And I do it on my side of the aisle. I do it with some of my best friends in the world. Me and my good buddy Brian, who's moderating today, sat out on my back porch a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about how much he despised Bill Clinton, and I talked about how much I loved Bill Clinton, and we're still friends to this day. Okay, so you can disagree with people, but I am not going to entertain that type of buffoonery. It's insulting to anyone, and it's insulting to our intelligence. And now we're having to sit back and watch this stuff unravel right before our eyes while they cheer it on and call us deranged for trying to point it out. So to the people, again, who are out there and they're protesting and they feel outnumbered, you're not going to be outnumbered for long. To the people out there that are laughing at the protesters in little small towns like Manchester, go ahead and laugh now, because you're going to be crying later, and you're going to be wishing you'd listened, and you're going to understand that we weren't here trying to just hate on Donald Trump, although we do. I unapologetically hate the dude. Whatever chair he's sitting in right now, fuck that chair. I don't like the dude, but that's not why we're sitting here saying this stuff. It's not. We're saying this stuff because we see how serious it is. And there's also this apolitical crowd of people that I will honestly never really understand, although sometimes I do envy them just a little bit. I envy the fact that they can go through life and not really pay attention. But we're trying to reach those people too, the ones that really don't vote or don't pay attention, or when they do vote, they just vote the way Papaw did. Listen, I love my Papaw, okay? I love both my Papaws. They were both lifelong Republicans, lifelong Christians. They went to their grave believing in God and the Bible and the Constitution. I love them both and would love to have a conversation with them today. But they're no longer here, okay? They're not here. One of mine died in 89. The other one died in 92, a long time ago. We're in a different world now. So I'm not going to go back and base how I vote on how my Papa voted back when he was old enough to vote. My grandpa was born in 1913. Okay, so I'm not going to go back to one that was born in 1913 and one that was born in 1916 and do things the way that they did back then. I'm going to do things the way we need to do it right now. And I'm not going to vote just because Papa was Republican or I want to hold on to Papa's guns. That's ridiculous. Okay? The only person that really will take Papa's guns from you is Donald Trump. And he can because he has immunity. He can do any damn thing he wants to. Y'all gave that right away and don't even realize it. You can sit there and you can carry a big old bazooka on your shoulder to the Wendy's if you want to. You can go down there and get you a Big Mac and a McFlurry and sit there and hold your gun on your shoulder if that's what you feel like doing. But Donald Trump can walk in any day he wants to now and just jerk it right off your shoulder and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So, joke's on you. The point is, folks, we got to keep protesting. We got to keep lifting up our voices, and we got to keep lifting up other people's voices and letting them be heard. So that's why this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be talking to the folks from Kentucky Resist who have been going out there and putting on protest in my home state that I grew up in of Kentucky. And we're going to be talking to them because what they're going to be standing against on July 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at the courthouse in Laurel County, London, Kentucky, they're going to be talking about this bill. They're going to be standing up against it and speaking out. And I want to amplify those voices. I really believe that we should amplify the voices out there, the ones that are trying to make a difference and stand up in the face of this authoritarianism, and just keep pushing forward. That's all we can do at this point, folks. It truly is. But I want to thank everybody out there for supporting what it is that I do. I truly do appreciate all of you. I'll try to get back in the saddle and do these lives more often. We got another one to look forward to this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube, so I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to thank y'all so much for supporting what I do and buying my album, which was available and still is available over on Bandcamp.com for download. It was my best-selling album that I ever put out. It was called Fab, which stands for Fuck a Bunch of Billionaires. Shout out to Lori, who made a killer cover with the FABB tattooed across the knuckles on the front. That was pretty clever. I really enjoyed that. And so I thank y'all so much for supporting the music. Also, thank you to all of you that's been ordered in my merch store. That's been doing really well. That's available over on Fourth Wall. And also, just thank y'all for following my Substacks. I really do enjoy. A lot of people wants to know if I'm writing over on Substack. Yes, I am. I write more full-length pieces over there, and I really do enjoy it. And so, I do write over on Substack. I do post on Blue Sky from time to time. I share a lot of my links and stuff on the Meta platforms. I'm not too fond of them either. Not the biggest fan of Meta, to be honest with you, just like I'm not the biggest fan of TikTok or Twitter. I think they're both dumpster fires, to be honest. I post from time to time over on TikTok because that is where I did get my start. I definitely picked up my steam over on TikTok and got going. But now it's just, I don't know. It's different. It's a bunch of people bitching at each other and laughing and making fun of each other. And there's some content creators who I thoroughly do enjoy over there that does talk about the issues at hand. But I really don't give a shit if two people's got a spat and they're yelling at one another, and trying to one up each other by pinning a comment. That's I don't see any value in that anymore. I see value in talking to people, listening to people, hearing them out, lifting up voices that otherwise wouldn't be able to find a platform, and moving the conversation forward. And that's what we'll continue to do here. But I did want to say before I went that I truly do appreciate each and every one of you for supporting what it is that I do. I'm able to do it full time now, and it is a full-time job. And, it's one of those things where you feel like you're on call, honestly, because I'll be like, okay, I'll make some videos and I'll set them to come out in advance, and then I'll just take a drive. I'll ride down to the beach, or I'll take a drive through the country, or whatever the hell. And then I get halfway out of town, and all of a sudden someone says, did you see what Aaron Parnas just posted? All hell broke loose. And then it's like, well, we're right back to square one. Now the videos I made are outdated, and now I got to get back in the saddle. So, this doing this all the time now is kind of like the Hotel California. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. And so that's where I'm currently residing. That's basically what it is. But don't forget, this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be back here in the saddle talking to the people from Kentucky Resist. We'll be talking about the importance of protesting. We'll be talking more about the big broken promises, which is what the bill should be called. The big, beautiful, broken promises of Donald J. Trump. That's what we should call it. We'll be talking more about that. And if you can get out to London, Kentucky, to the Laurel County Courthouse from 4 to 7 p.m. this Eastern Time, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. It's looking kind of doubtful, but hopefully I can. I'm getting a tattoo earlier in the day, and Bradley that I go to is really quick at it. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm still on the fence as to what I'm getting. I know a lot of people's probably asking that question. But I'm working on a sleeve, so I'm trying to go ahead and knock it out. And I'm just going to let him take the reins. And if you want to throw something in there, I got a big spot right in here, which is going to suck, by the way. That part's really going to suck. I'm dreading it, but yeah. So if you see me out in London, Kentucky, and I got a pissed off look on my face, I am going to be pissed off about this big, beautiful bill, but I'm also probably going to be in pain from all the tattoo work under my arm here. Either way, if you see me, walk up, shake my hand, say hi. Don't start no shit. Won't be no shit kind of thing. And yeah, I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Shout out to the Vol Queen and to Brian for moderating and helping me get through this. And hope everyone has a great week. And I know it's hard, honestly, folks. I'll close on this note. Don't mean to bring down the room on the last note, but have a safe Independence Day weekend. Just try to remember what this country was supposed to be about. Try to remember to stand up for people, and just try to remember, I guess, more than anything, just to be good to people. I think right now, with everything unraveling the way it is, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So just try to be good to people, and try to treat people good. Be there for your family. Be there for your friends, and we'll get through this. It's going to be a rough and bumpy ride. You know, Hunter Thompson said, "Buy the ticket, take the ride." Well, I got the ticket, and the ride's getting bumpy. But we're not going to quit. We're not going to back down. We're always going to be sitting here fighting for democracy, fighting for the truth, fighting for freedom. And that's what I think our grandfathers would want if they were still here. I don't think they'd be about political parties. I know mine wouldn't be. Wouldn't be about political parties. It would be about what this country was supposed to stand for. So let's just keep our focus on that, and, try to spend the time you can with your family. I know it's not going to be as fun to celebrate that this year because of everything going on. I understand why some people may want to just sit it out, but if nothing else, just spend time with your closest friend, the family you love, and just spend that time with them, because we're going to need each other as we go forward. And to the ones out there that are trolling and being like, well, Brando hates Trump. Yeah, I do, but I actually do love you at the end of the day, and I just want to see your life better. So we're going to keep screaming. You can call us deranged. You can call us crazy. You can call us whatever the hell you want to, and we'll keep pushing forward, because we're on the right side of history. And I can say that with all the confidence in the world. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see you here Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, as we talk to the people from Kentucky Resist, and we will always resist this authoritarian nightmare that we now live under. See y'all next time.